Hi, this is Neil. Welcome to Article Reading for Juniors. Today, we're going to look at this article about loggerhead sea turtles and talk about a few questions from it. We'll start with number 1. Read the question first. On line 4, the phrase epic quest refers to. Change that into a question. What is the epic quest on line 4? Now, to answer it, you need to read that sentence. Survivors of this epic quest eventually return to Florida's coastal waters. Now, you see how it says this epic quest? Usually if you see that word this at the beginning of a sentence, it's talking about something that happened in the previous sentence. You want to find out what that is, because that's the answer to your question. Now, you should also know that a quest is a journey or a long trip. An epic means really long and really dangerous. So the answer is probably going to be some long and dangerous journey. But let's look. Loggerhead sea turtles scramble into the sea and begin a migration that takes them around the entire North Atlantic Ocean. Well, that's probably your answer, a migration around the entire North Atlantic Ocean. That sounds long, that sounds dangerous. Look at your answers. Baby sea turtles quest to leave their underground nests. Now, it does talk about baby sea turtles, which is what loggerheads are, but it doesn't talk about a journey around the North Atlantic Ocean. It talks about a journey to leave their nests, which doesn't sound very epic. It's not A. B. Humanity's quest to save endangered sea creatures. Are we talking about people doing something or sea turtles doing something? This epic quest is the journey around the North Atlantic Ocean that sea turtles take, not something that humans do. So get rid of B. Loman's quest to discover how sea turtles navigate across the North Atlantic Ocean. Now, if you're paying attention, you probably figured out when I read the first two words of the answer choice that it wasn't the right answer, because it doesn't mention sea turtles questing, it mentions Loman, who is the scientist that the article talks about extensively later. It's not C. So that leaves D. Sea turtles' long trips across the North Atlantic Ocean. Now that sounds exactly like what we said before we started answering the question, so we can pretty solidly choose D as the right answer. Let's move on to number 2. The main point of this article is to something. So to answer this, you just need to figure out what the article's main idea is. It seems to be about loggerhead sea turtles and some scientists who have been researching them and discovering things about them over the past few years. So let's look for an answer that says something like scientists doing research on sea turtles, something like that. Look at A. Compare and contrast sea turtles born in eastern Florida and sea turtles born in the North Atlantic Ocean. Now, this article is not comparing and contrasting anything. It's just telling us about these scientists and the research they've been doing on this type of turtle. So you can get rid of A. What about B? Convince readers to save endangered sea turtles. Convince means persuade or make you believe something. This article is not really trying to convince you of anything. It's just giving you some facts about these turtles. So you can get rid of B. Look at C. Describe the life cycles of various animals, including loggerhead sea turtles. This might seem attractive, but be careful. It's too broad. You're looking for an answer that focuses specifically on loggerhead sea turtles. This answer seems to focus on a bunch of different animals, one of which is loggerhead sea turtles. But this article is only about turtles, so you can get rid of C. What about D? Tell readers what scientists recently learned about baby sea turtles. Now that sounds like the right answer. We were looking for something about scientists learning things about sea turtles, and this is exactly right. Choose D and be confident, because that's the right answer. The last question we are going to look at today is question number 8. Read it first. Lines 62 through 70 suggests that in the future, environmentalists will protect sea turtle eggs by doing what? So how will environmentalists protect sea turtle eggs in the future? An environmentalist is someone who wants to protect the world. In this case, sea turtles. So the article tells us that they have been using nests made of wire on the beaches to protect the eggs from raccoons who want to eat them. But the research that these scientists have done have shown, as it says here, that these cages distort the beach's magnetic fields, which may hurt the turtles' ability to navigate after they leave their nests. So these cages change or mess up the magnetic field on the beach, and the turtles use that magnetic field to guide themselves when they're migrating. So if it's a messed up thing, the turtles won't be able to migrate and might get lost or die while they're on their big journey, their epic quest, as line 4 called it. So you can guess that researchers will stop using these metal cages to protect the eggs in the future. We can look at the answer choices and look for that. Stop using metal cages to protect the turtle eggs. Look at A. Surrounding their nests with magnets. Now it does mention the magnetic field in the article, but our prediction was something along the lines of stop using metal cages to protect their nests from raccoons. A doesn't seem to say anything like that, so we can get rid of it. What about B? Surrounding their nests with raccoons that keep away other predators. Well, that doesn't sound right because the raccoons are the problem. Let's get rid of B. That's a silly answer. Look at C. Using metal cages to keep raccoons out. Now, keeping raccoons out is the point, but they are already using metal cages and that causes problems. So they're going to stop using metal cages, not start. Get rid of C. And then D. Using non-metal cages to keep raccoons out. That sounds a lot like our prediction. We were looking for something that said stop using metal cages, and this says using non-metal cages to keep the raccoons out. That's your answer. You can select it confidently, and you can get it right. Now, if you have any more questions about any of these, please feel free to go to the forum link at the bottom of the page and ask there, or send an email through readingcare.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. I've had a great time talking to you today, and have a good night.